The Corn Thicket Podcast with Kyle and Howie, presented by Realtree.
There we go.
Welcome back to the thicket.
Welcome back.
Yeah, hunting season's almost here. We got
Hunting season. We're going to talk a little bit about hunting today. Welcome back to the Corn Thicket Podcast. I'm Kyle.
I am Howie. We're presented by Realtree.
Yeah,
we can talk
presented by
hunting.
Realtree.
We got to talk some baseball stuff too a little bit. I mean, we'll just talk sports and hunting. We'll cover hunting first, but yeah, just real quick because I just got to get this off my chest. I just saw, and I don't think you've seen this yet. Before we jump into hunting, in Chicago, they've asked the gangs to limit their shooting to after 9 o'clock at night. It's the purge, man. Like
That's ridiculous.
They're gonna set, the purge, right? You see that movie?
Oh yeah.
They're gonna set the siren off, like what? Everybody's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get inside."
You can shoot people now.
Yeah, they've openly said like, please do it between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. so innocent people don't get caught up in your chicanery or whatever you want to call it. Of course, they didn't use words like that, but yeah, dude, what a world we live in. It's the friggin' purge in Chicago. But
That's insane.
I just saw that before we logged on, and yeah, and then right now that you saw the thing I posted on the, they call it posting now instead of tweeting? Did you see that?
Oh, on X.
Yeah, X. It's always going to be Twitter, dude, and I'm always going to be tweeting.
I saw Elon said something today about removing blocking. Did you see that tweet?
Yeah, I'm not for that, man.
Me either.
I have blocked people, and I have been blocked for good reason both ways. Like, it needs to stay.
It says, pretty fun blocking people who complain that blocking is going away. How does the medicine taste?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I just tweeted on the thicket, though, the kid from Rhode Island acting like he was hit by a ball that clearly it didn't even touch his shirt, and he's grabbing his side like he was shot, like he was in Chicago after 9 o'clock.
After 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and boy, people have opinions about that. You knew Awin was going to come firing in.
Yeah, I actually haven't. We've been busy, so I haven't logged on to read the. I saw you tweeted it, and I saw you sent it to the group.
Yeah,
and that was about it.
Well,
but
you know
I
what
seen.
You know what Awin's going to say. He's like, he ain't cheating, he ain't trying.
I'm looking here. Oh yeah, that's what he's going to. Did he even reply? I haven't even seen his reply yet.
Yeah, it's in there.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet.
But the Pennsylvania team's from Philly, so you know how that's going over. Like, those people are hot. They are hot.
Oh, I can imagine.
And
is that what lost in the game?
Bases were loaded. There were no outs. That was the first. That was the run that gave them the other. Gave, what are they called, Metro or whatever they call New Hampshire.
Yeah, I saw they're called Metro.
Rhode Island, New Hampshire, are all the same, and none of those states matter. But
I'll actually turn that on.
But yeah, that was the first run. So you always kind of think mentally for those kids, it's a tie game, even though the bases are loaded and there's no outs. It's like there's a big deal giving up that first run. It kind of opens the floodgates, so I can see it both ways. Like, they ended up losing by a lot more than that. I think they lost by 5 runs, but that was the first run that then opened the floodgates. And then in the bottom of the 6th, Pennsylvania's up, and this kid check swings. And I mean, his bat is still pointed at the catcher, and the same umpire's like, he went strike. I put that one up on there too.
So you didn't even come close to going?
Oh my God, no! It's on there too. If you jump on your phone, you'll see it while we're chatting. But anyway, yeah. So
Jesus.
So just before we move on, what are your thoughts on that? On a kid, high leverage situation. It's an RBI if he gets hit, and it comes close. It went under his arm, but it clearly didn't hit him. But he acted like he was shot. So
I don't know, man. Because I did see the video that you tweeted and you sent it to us on that little group message, and the kid was going to score anyway because the ball went behind the catcher and he was already home plate by the time he acted like he got hit. To me, it looked like that's what it looked like. So I think he would have scored anyway. But if he wasn't going to and acting like he got hit, I don't know. You see, like, it goes back to like LeBron flopping and stuff like that. Athletes,
Right.
athletes pretending like they're gonna hurt. Soccer players and pretending they're hurt for a half an hour to get a penalty kick, so they can score a goal or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because I've never done it, and I would have probably been like, "Ah, it didn't hit me" or whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
Anything to win.
I get that, but having a kid that age, I don't know. I can't say I would be proud of him for doing that. I wouldn't be mad
Right.
at him.
Yeah.
Be mad at him, but I wouldn't be proud of him. Like
Yeah. That's
I'm not going to teach him to do it, and I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, hey, that was awesome. But
that's kind of how I feel. I'm not gonna be mad, but if he does it, I'm gonna be like, that was kind of
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of cheap. But
I lost your video, by the way. I don't know if you lost it on your side or not, but I can't see
no,
it.
I see me.
Okay, well, I'll
Still
probably
says
just
record.
yeah. But yeah, but I can guarantee you. I mean, it won't happen in this situation, but if that happened in Little League and we were the ones in the field, that kid's getting one right to the back next time he gets up.
Oh yeah.
Now that didn't end
I
up.
know Brock. I know Brock would do it.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah, he'd be firing right at him. He'd be like, I don't care if it's tied or not. I'm hitting him. But yeah, the unspoken rules or whatever they say, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to get the game on. I'm
no,
probably
no,
not gonna make for a good video here, but all 6 people that watch it, I don't give a fuck. Um, I'm
recording
pulling up the little
continues
league.
smoothly. Live video will return when their internet improves. Is what I'm getting on your side. Oh, there you are. You're back on my side. It seems like it was always
I've seen mine the whole time.
there. Yeah, it's
Let me
fine.
run a
You
speed
guys
test to
play,
see.
man. We got to get into
Also, on the last podcast, you remember that part where I said I was going to cut it out, where we lost audio, or I was messing with the audio and it clicked or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'll just cut this. I forgot to cut it, so it's in
Oh,
there.
whatever. Who cares? 6 people aren't gonna care.
That's what I said. My speed's good. It's at
Yeah.
200.
So you were just up at camp. Let's talk about hunting. That's part of what
I
we're
was
here.
just up at camp, so I noticed I had my cameras all on minerals, and I put those cameras out end of June, and I made a video that's on the Thicket YouTube page. Put all my cameras out, 6 of them, and I put them all on minerals. And then here, right as soon as August started, I noticed the mineral licks have been dying down, like not as many deer. I'd still get 1 or 2 deer a night, but
Right.
I think they're transitioning now. The acorns, when I was in the woods this weekend, I heard some acorns falling. So I think the acorns are starting to fall into August here. And I don't know if they're going to have a good crop or not, but they're definitely transitioning. They're probably getting out in the green fields now. The beans are getting real green and start getting ready to turn. So I don't know if they get sweeter this time of year, but
Right.
they're getting off the mineral basically is where I'm getting at and transitioning. So, I hate when my cameras, I have 7 cameras out right now, and I hate when they go cold. I absolutely freaking hate it. It's like I always want to know what they're doing next. So this
Yeah.
weekend we went up there, my wife, my baby, and I, and we went up there and I put them all on. I put. Have you seen the rope scrape thing that people do?
Yeah. So you sent that to me the other day. I just looked at it briefly. Yeah.
So I actually did it. Hang on a second.
Callie waking up. Trying to squeeze a podcast in.
So
while
so
baby's
so
sleeping.
we're trying to squeeze a podcast in. And my wife's at her second job right now, and
Bidenomics, brother. Second
my
jobs
sister
everywhere.
is yeah, my sister is somebody's up there. But I just put my daughter to sleep. She's was in our bed, but I hear somebody walking around upstairs. I'm here by myself with her. So, this podcast might be a little bit of a shit show,
Oh, she can
but
come hang
hopefully we
out with
can,
us.
huh?
She can come hang out with us, curl up in your lap.
I don't hear her saying daddy or anything.
She's probably making a burger, throwing something on the smoker.
She might be. This is going to be really interesting. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to go look. I have
Yeah.
to mark
Yeah.
this. I will cut this
No,
part
just
out.
pause it. Just pause it. We're good.
Where was I? Oh, the scrape thing. So I think his name's Tom Higgins or Tim Higgins or whatever.
Yeah.
With something outdoors. Obviously, there's a million outdoor names out there. But I watched one of his videos and he made a rope scrape. So what you do is you hang like a 1 inch rope from a tree
It's like a hemp rope, right?
and you
Or no?
put, huh?
Did he say it was a hemp rope? I thought.
Yeah, it's like you can do hemp rope, or there was another word for it. I can't remember.
Not like a poly rope. It's like a yeah. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking.
not like vinyl rope or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that, but like they're just like a hemp rope,
yeah. Right.
and you hang it like 2 foot off the ground, and they'll just come and screw with it like a scrape. And so that's kind of what I did, and I'm interested to see. There was a doe checking it out this morning, so I did that. Moved that camera there, and then I put one other under a scrape that I think is going to be, and then I made 2 mock scrapes. So
Right.
I know they're not scraping yet, like real heavy, obviously, but
Right.
just now I don't have to mess with it for the rest of the fall. I hope that's
Right.
my goal here. Hopefully they'll be ready, they'll hit it, and they'll be on it. So
Have you ever seen
our
those?
season starts.
Sorry, I was going to say like along those lines of the rope scrapes. Have you seen those where they have like the stand and they put the sapling in it? Like you cut the branch and put it in there.
Yeah, they call it the hodag.
Yeah. Have you ever done
Yeah,
that?
I actually have one of those.
Oh, really?
And what I do with it though, I don't stick it in the ground because I don't have a really good spot that like people don't drive over, and I don't want people to running over that spring,
Right.
because it's like
Yeah.
a
Right.
what it is. It's like a rubber mat that you stake to the ground. It's got 2 holes on each side, and it's a big, I don't know, 2 inch rubber or a metal spring in there, and it's, I don't know, 8 inches tall.
Yeah.
And you stick the sapling in there. It's got 3 wing nuts that sit that wing nut to the sapling, and
Yeah.
then the deer just come and they just bounce it, and then the spring, bounces it back in their face, and they play with it. They hit it with their antlers and knock it around and stuff. But what I do with it is
I might not want to know. Go ahead.
huh?
Sorry. I said I might not want to know what you do with it. Hasn't made it into the woods yet, but let me tell you. Yeah.
I'll show you when you come up here. Um, but what I do with it is I screw it to a tree, and then I put a sapling in it that kind of has like an arch to it, and I
Right.
make a scrape out of it.
Oh, nice.
So whenever they mess with it, it just bounces up and down, or they can move it back and forth like a regular tree limb. But
Yeah.
I put it in a spot that there's obviously not already a scraped tree limb there,
Right.
but I kind of make one.
Right.
So
Had luck
that's
with
what
that?
I do with it.
You get pictures off of that?
I just put it out.
Oh, this is the
I
first
did
time
actually
you've done
have I actually did have a little forky messing with it the day after I put it out.
that? Oh, dude. By the way,
But
I have a giant Forky over here this year. Giant
do
Forky.
you?
I mean, he has room for 10 points on him. He's got nothing. He's just a G2.
So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So that little branch hanging down is actually from the hodag thing.
Oh, okay.
That's a doe under it right there.
Yeah.
But the morning after I put it out, that's a little forky. He's
Yeah.
right under it right there.
Yeah.
You can't see the branch in it, but yeah, it's worked out for me before. I've got deer messing with it before, so it seems to work. It's just basically creating a scrape tree there's not already a
Right.
scrape tree there.
Right. Yeah, I've seen kind of the same thing with the minerals here, and obviously we got to pull ours up. I mean, we're not allowed to hunt over. You're not allowed to hunt over minerals out there, are you? Or you can, and it
Yeah,
just doesn't do any good
yeah,
to haul there off them anyway.
they
Yeah.
don't hit them anymore. So you can refresh them or whatever. You can do whatever you want. Minerals here are not considered bait.
Yeah. So here in Pennsylvania, they are. I have 2 spots out that I put them out like early summer, just to see what the deer are doing. But then, it's a month before, 30 days before the season, you got to have everything up, and it washes down in, so I can't just go scrape up what's there. I actually got to dig it out. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah,
sworn and I'll do it again. I just dig it out completely, like dig a foot down and haul that dirt out of there because somebody sends somebody over, they're going to dig and they're going to find, oh, well, there was mineral here. Well, yeah, it's soaked down in, So I think next year I grabbed a couple pans, like from, I have pans in my garage, like from Tractor Supply. I think I'm actually going to stake one of those down. And anytime I put mineral out, like put it on that. So I
oh
don't
yeah,
have to dig the ground up and carry
that's a good
25
idea.
pounds of dirt out. But yeah, I've seen the same thing. They lost interest in it, in the last week or so.
Yeah.
I do have I mentioned this to you this morning. There's a property somewhat adjacent to ours that has a really good buck on it, the one I've shown on the thicket, the real tall boy on it. And there's a beautiful pinch point between two fields there. We contacted. Well, first we went over. We know the family, so and they don't live there anymore. It's kind of a vacant property. But But we went over and we hung a camera there just to get a picture of the buck. Like we have hunting property right across the road. We figure he's going to come through here most likely anyway. So we hang a camera over there, and we saw there's a couple stands in this very, very small piece. I mean, I'm talking this woods is maybe 3/4 of an acre, and it's like 100 yards long, so it's real narrow. It's only like 20 yards wide. See a couple tree stands in there. Didn't mess with them, whatever. But we put our camera up just to get a picture of this buck, and so then we contacted. So this past week, we finally got in contact with landowners and said, hey, our son's looking for a place to hunt. He's hardworking. He'll mow your yard. He'll take care of your place since nobody's there. Keep it looking nice and all that stuff. And there's two owners, and the first owner's like, yeah, that's great, but then she checked with her sister, who also owns the property now, and she's like, I'm not comfortable having anybody there. So we're like, okay. So I figured today I'm going to go pull that camera out, because if they don't want us hunting there, I'm not going to keep hanging a camera there either, right? I mean, it's just, I get it, right? I'm going to respect that. So last night, my cameras are set to 3 burst, or cell cameras are set to 3s, and I know which way this thing's pointing. And I get one picture sent to me, and it's like the camera's moved to the side, way to the side. And then I get this notification that this camera needs an SD card or something like that. I'm like, huh. So I figured somebody messed with it, because like a bear, it would have stayed on, and whatever. They're pretty rugged, the Moultrie cameras that I use. And I go down there today and to retrieve the camera anyway, and here the guy who has those tree stands has left a note. Let me read that note. I won't put it up on here because it has his phone number on it, which is kind of funny.
You can put that up.
Yeah, he's gonna get blown up. Everybody start calling. Where the heck
All
is it?
7 people.
Yeah, right. Let me see if I can get this turned in a way where you can't see his number anymore. I'll keep my thumb over that part. Maybe I can do that. But yeah, don't fuck with my tree stand ever again. And he sends that to us, right? And he actually tucked it in the battery case of the camera. So he opened it up, wrote that on a paper towel, and stuck it in the battery case, right? So when I get home, I find out. And, he didn't know it was like a 14-year-old's camera, but still pretty aggressive, right? Especially when it's not your property. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he has permission, and I get it. Like, we weren't planning on hunting there. We didn't touch his tree stand. We didn't come anywhere near his tree stand. We're like,
why did he say mess with your?
I have no idea. I think he's just saying being in his spot, but I'm not sure. But I can tell you, speaking of minerals, that little strip of woods has 2 spots in it that are basically ponds now, where you can see it's just been salted to hell. I mean, it's just mud. It's dug down 2 feet, whatever. And so I contact the landowner to say, hey, just so you know, we were on your property today. I was just pulling a camera. I want to let you know if anybody, if you saw us on there or whatever, I was there pulling a camera. And I let her know what else happened. And I left his name and number. She's like, he does not have permission to be on there. So, yeah, the guy came off a little aggressive, and now I get to go pull that tree stand down and stack it at the bottom of his tree and leave a little note saying, hey, thanks for letting us know who you are and how to get in contact with you.
Oh my God.
You just lost your favorite hunting spot by coming and being so aggressive. So yeah, it's, people are wild. And the frustrating thing though, is that Brock has been knocking on doors. You and I had success with that in Missouri, in turkey season.
Oh yeah.
And Brock's been knocking on doors. He's polite, he's well-spoken, he's, mature, and asking for archery permission from folks who don't have people on their property hunting, and they don't care about hunting, and he's offering to do work. He's like, I will come work once a month all year long, to whatever you need. Like, you just need me to come help you with something, I'll always help you with it. And he hasn't been able to find anybody yet, which is frustrating, because a lot of kids don't like to work anymore, and he works, and he's trying to do right, instead of sneaking on, instead of whatever. And he's just been getting stonewalled. So we're going after the public land buck this year, I suppose. But
that'd be fun though. I mean, like, I know you were talking. I was just giving you a hard time about that guy talking about which we were going to have on the podcast. I was just
Yeah.
Just messing with you.
Yeah, he's definitely going on. Yeah, that's well, I want to get back to the stuff you got going on up at camp there first, but yeah, what you're referring to, we're gonna have a fella that just kills hammers, and I know everyone loves the word hammers in our group, but he kills giants. That was especially for them. He kills giants every year. I mean, buck that I've never killed anything like that, and he's got
Yeah.
just more than I can even count. But he knows his buck in the middle of July. Middle of July, he's telling me, he's like, I got 4 or 5 buck that are gonna on public land. Every one of them on public land.
Yeah.
That he's like, they're all gonna be 140 plus, and I'm like, and it's a legit 140 plus. It's not like Twitter 140 or X. Sorry, 140 plus, you know. And but he's so good. He stays out. He won't hunt if the wind's not right. He'll just stay home. Like he waits and waits and waits. But yeah, he uses all this to say he gets way back in on public land and he uses saddles. He only uses saddles. He says he's never going back. And I told him, I was like, well, what do you use? And blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, this is going to be a whole conversation. He's like, there's so many brands out there that he said, you could have
Oh
a
yeah.
conversation just on how to climb because everybody climbs different, and so we're gonna have him on. He agreed to come on. He's gonna come on. We're hoping next Sunday he can join us or join me, depending on if you're free or not. But we want to get him on here because I think that's interesting. Saddles are interesting to me. Just kind of throw it on. He does the lightweight version, like he's not carrying sticks in and all that stuff, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think he's just I don't know how he's climbing yet. I don't know if he's using spikes or what, but I'm excited about it because Brock and I are gonna more than likely try that this year. So anyway,
I mean,
back up.
it's a good way to go. I just give you shit because, like, there's no way my fat ass is gonna climb up in a saddle. I am not limber. You take the most limber person, and then I am the exact opposite of that. So
Find Kyle
I
live
just feel when I get all these
bottom of the
ropes
tree.
and stuff attached to me, I'm just gonna be like swinging upside down, and I'm gonna be calling 911 to help them get me out of the tree. They're gonna have to bring a bucket truck and the fire truck down, and
Got a climbing spike stuck through your other leg.
yeah, exactly. That would be me. That would 100% be me.
Bleed out
Um,
upside down.
but I have done the hanging hunts. I've taken and plus I carry a camera, tree
Yeah,
arm,
right.
bow, uh, all of that stuff, rattling antlers. I carry all that stuff with me. So
Right.
carrying that, and then my steps, and then once I get up the tree, then I got to set up my tree arm. It's just easier for me to set up a tree stand,
Right.
climb up, set up my tree stand, go back down, get to my equipment, climb up,
Yeah.
and then I'm done. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I do when I do the hanging hunt, and that's the easiest for me just because of all the extra camera gear. Now I was talking to a fellow the other day, one of my friends that's loves the hunting public guys, and he was talking about doing that same thing, and he's talking about going to public ground this year and doing the hanging hunts, but he's doing it with a saddle. And I'm like, man, I just don't know how you would do that. And then there's actually videos online of hanging hunt or a self-film saddle hunt where people
Yeah.
go in with all their camera gear and stuff. I'm like, Jesus, that just sounds like so much to carry.
Yeah.
But then again,
Yeah.
carrying a tree stand sounds like a lot to carry too
Yeah.
with all that stuff.
I mean, the only other
So
option we can do, because we might as well cover it now since we kind of got into it. So what we're looking to do, and I just put a video up on Twitter yesterday. I need to load it up on YouTube too. But so Brock and I are looking at a very remote public land hunt, but accessing it via the water. So there's a lake near us, and I can go down. I can be on that lake in the water 12 minutes from the time I leave my house, and then it's about a 15-minute boat ride. And I'm thinking, like, number one, it's just going to be cool, right? Like you get on
yeah,
the boat, cruise across an archery,
yeah,
shut off that motor, coast it in the dark, tie it to a tree, get up that hill, get up into the white oaks, and I mean, I'm
oh yeah,
pumped just for that. But the only other option we have, and the reason it's remote, like there's trails that get there, there's access roads. It's like there's different trails that kind of access relatively close to it, but it's about 2.5 miles back from the nearest access point on those roads, and nobody's walking that. Nobody's walking 2.5 miles to.
yeah.
And there's tons of white oaks. It's just beautiful land. But we're hoping that by coming in that way, we can get in behind. Not it's public land. Nobody hunts public land, so there's not going to be that much pressure anyway. But I'm thinking we might be able to get some access to some older deer out there. The only other option we have with that is to get climbers, which we talked about a little bit as well online, but to get climbers and then stash them, right? Because it's quite a hike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could take climbers, take them down every time, put them under a treetop, hope nobody sees them. You know, they're off the roads and off the trails anyway. But you know, first I got to see if there's anything worth shooting over there. I have a feeling there is. I have a feeling there's some old boys that just, I mean, they're miles from anybody. You know, nobody.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure you'll find them. It's It's
Yeah,
just a lot of people. Yeah, they don't. I don't want to say public land hunting is easier because it's definitely not easier, but it's a lot more. I don't know how to put it because like take where I hunt for example. It's maybe 200 acres, but there's 8 people that hunt it,
right.
and I can't get away from everybody. I can't go 4 miles in,
Yeah,
so I don't have 3,000 acres that I'm like just gonna get away or go
yeah.
by boat. So I'm not saying it's easier. It's definitely a lot more work, but it's not. Do you know?
Yeah,
You see what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
know exactly what you're saying. And most of the guys who do hunt public land, number one, are rifle hunters,
Yeah,
or they'll hunt like right next to a road, right? You
yeah,
literally see a truck, and then you look down the woods, and there's an archery hunter like 50 yards down the woods. And in
yeah,
rifle, the same guys are like, you know, I hunt this Pennsylvania, you know, state game land, and you go and they're sitting with a bag of donuts, literally 60 feet off the road. You know, and I didn't see a damn deer, and I'm like, well, because there's 5,000 acres out there, and they're not going to walk right
yeah,
to your truck, you know. And
yeah.
but anyway, so you got any good buck up there at camp? Let's get back to the
We got
campsite.
one. We got we got one decent. He's a 9, but he's an 8 with a split G2 on his right side. I think he might go 140, maybe.
That's
That's
good.
about it. Uh,
Did you score your one from
but
last
other
year?
than, huh?
Did you score your one from last year?
Yeah, 128.
Okay. Okay.
Um, he didn't have very long tines. His tines were only like 5, 6 inches,
Right.
but he
Right.
had 5.5 inch bases, and his main beams just went on forever. That's where he got
Right.
all
Right.
his points from. Or yeah, his inches. But this one's maybe 140. He's got a split G2 on his right side. There's bigger deer there. They just didn't summer there. Honestly, I haven't seen a buck on that property since the basically. Well, I take that back. We saw an 8 pointer, had an 8 pointer on camera two 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 days. No, 2 or 3 days ago, not 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. But I haven't seen any of the bucks that I've been seeing all summer in a while since the beginning of the month. They haven't that I guess they transitioned and went across the road. There's an outfitter across the road that they like going to.
Yeah.
Um,
Little do they
they'll
know.
summer either huh?
Little do they know. Like they're going to an outfitters. Like, hey, we like
Yeah, yeah,
over here.
exactly.
Mm.
But honestly, they'll be the bucks that I saw all summer will be safe over there because they won't get fine you if you don't shoot anything less than 150 or whatever. They'll fine you by the inch.
So that big funky one that got killed last year. Remember you saw him early on the camera,
Oh yeah,
and
that
we're like,
COVID
oh, look
nine
at
tine
this,
or whatever
this
one.
weird thing, and we're like, oh, he's not very big, and then the guy shot it, and I was like, oh, we're both like,
Yeah,
oh, that thing's giant.
yeah.
Was
And
that
so I said,
killed over there? Same transition or no?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We saw him on us, and then he went across the road, and then was it the COVID-19 one, or was that the one that the beams or the brows? I think the brows went up and touched each other or
No, I,
something.
th- I think that was the COVID-9 time. I think. Either
Was
way,
it? That was the year before. Anyways,
yeah,
both of them,
it might have been 2 years ago. Who knows? The years are going by pretty
both of them.
fast.
I know there was one last year. I think the main beams went across each other, and
Yeah,
I'm like, that would have been a cool deer to shoot.
yeah,
That was last year, and the year before that was the COVID-9 time that he had like this ninth point that went like curved up
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
That's the one I was thinking of. So yeah, that would have been two
Yeah,
years ago.
and
Yeah,
then the guy ended up killing him, and then like it scored like 156.
yeah.
And
We're
I
sitting
remember showing you guys. I
on
sent
the
the
ground.
picture to our group, and I'm like, this deer looks cool. Maybe next year he would be a good one. And
Yeah,
then they killed it, and of course it's an outfitter too. He's gonna
right.
say, scored 156. So the next guy like, oh man, they're killing 156-inch deer over there. Let's
Picture of that
buy
buck
a.
on the ground looked pretty big. He looked
And
bigger on
it
the
did.
ground than he did in that trail camera photo.
Absolutely, way bigger.
Trail cam, we're kind of like, yeah, we're like, oh, it'd be cool if he lives, and then they shoot him. I'm like, oh man, I wouldn't let that thing walk. Like, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
no.
I wouldn't have been hunting for him either. I would have been like, ah, yeah, he's, there's a
Yeah,
fun,
exactly,
and
exactly.
so
But no, and that led to this discussion that the outfitter, because I sent him a message. I was like, "Oh man, here's, my trail cam picture of this deer for 2 weeks ago," and he's like, "Yeah, that's why I stopped running those covert cameras, which I run all coverts just because
mhm,
those are the wireless cameras that I like. I've had them since
right,
2016."
right.
He's like, "I've noticed that every deer I kill from those cameras, I have to add 20 inches to that. Like for some reason, those cameras," he said, "make the deer look smaller than what they actually are." And I don't know if I believe him, but
I
I
don't
got
know
the
how that
message. It
would
was
even
right,
work. I don't
and
even know how
it's
that
from an
works.
outfitter. It's from the outfitter. It's right there. So I don't know if I believe him, but he runs those Tacticams now. And for some reason, that's what he told me. He's like, that's why I stopped running covert cameras, because for some reason you couldn't exactly judge a deer by the trail cam picture.
See, that's crazy to me because their ears are still the same distance apart.
That's
Like,
what
and,
I
and
don't,
you judge a deer based on like relative to things on the
yeah,
deer,
yeah,
right? So,
proportions, right? Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
But
that's wild.
yeah, I don't know. That's what led to that conversation. And so now that I see like 120-inch deer, I'm like, oh, maybe next year. He's like, or he's a 160-inch deer, and I just can't tell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how much land do you have? You still have access to all that property up there?
Um, yes and no. I don't got the place across the road that I was hunting last year. The landowner got onto me and said I was not allowed to hunt there anymore because I don't know, because she
They just
was angry
decided.
at me for some stupid reason. I mean, I hunted the place 14 years, and then all of a sudden he was mad at me because he saw my truck there one day.
All right.
Um, so lost that. Uh, but I still have the stands that you and I hunted. All those stands are still good.
Oh, okay. So you
Um,
can get down to that bottom down there. We saw that big boy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
the bottom
sweet.
down there is all good. Where yeah, I can still hunt that. It's just the property across the road I cannot get
Gotcha.
to anymore.
Gotcha.
He told me not to be there anymore. But all the other stuff down in the bottom stuff, that's I'm
Yeah.
still good down there.
Yeah. I
But
was going to ask you about like hinge cutting or anything if you needed it. Like if you'd ever tried to hold those deer more, but you got so much cover down that bottom. I mean, you don't, you don't need to
yeah,
create a bedding area. Whole thing's just
I haven't got, because I could do a lot more, but when there's 6 people down there in and
yeah.
out, like I only want to put forth so much effort for
Right.
myself.
Right. Right.
That I'd be stoked. Don't get me wrong. I'd be stoked if they killed a 140-inch deer, 150-inch deer.
Right.
But I'm not going to do a bunch of work for somebody else that doesn't do the work. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
Speaking of water, I mean, we did talk a couple years ago about us getting out there. Maybe it probably won't be. Well, it won't be this year, but we talked about hitting the
yeah.
river, right? Isn't there? There's some public land out there that you can access by the river, right?
Oh yeah. There's a huge lake called Mark Twain Lake that
Oh,
it's
okay.
all public ground that you can hunt around, and you could literally just go cove to cove, get up there and get on top of the ridge. Like if you did it in the rut.
Yeah.
I'm going to give away secrets here, but well, not really secrets because I've never done it, but I guarantee you could do it and you could probably see a big deer.
Right.
But what I always wanted to do was put in by boat and go like there's these coves and they all have ridge tops, and then they go
Yeah.
down and then they go back down to the water and then they go back up.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is just go cove to cove, cove to cove, and go ridge top to ridge top and then get up there and rattle.
Right.
Just sit by a log and sit and
Right.
rattle,
Right.
stay there for 20, 30 minutes all day and see if you can see what you can. I guarantee you, if you did that towards the end of October, you'd rattle something up. You'd have to.
Right. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that. Are you allowed to camp out there? Could you make like a week of it?
There's
Like,
camping there. It's a state park. There is
okay.
camping there. You can't camp on the spots you can hunt because that's Corps of Engineers. You can't camp
Gotcha.
there.
Gotcha.
But it's a state park. It's Mark Twain State Park, so you can
Right.
camp there.
Right.
Then literally probably pull your boat into and then just start from there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll bring my
So
boat out. We'll do that.
yeah,
That sounds like fun.
or
We'll
you can
see
buy my cousin's boat. He wants to sell it.
Yeah. I'd love to. I'd love
Dude,
to.
that thing would be so
The
sweet.
minute, the minute Lee goes and gets a second job, since she just started her first one here full time instead of substituting this year, I'll tell her like, hey, I'm using that money to get a boat. She's gonna love it. Yeah,
I'll pull it out for you.
yeah, yeah. So
But so you guys start, your season starts October 1st, correct?
Yeah, basically beginning of October, whatever that Saturday is. I haven't even looked yet because I'm still trying to
Yeah.
find Brock a bow. I put on the thicket the other day. You know,
Yeah.
"Hey, does anybody have a
My
used
cousin's
bow?" And
bow.
it's like Bear makes bows. Like I'm not coming after anybody. But I'm like, I know who makes bows. Like I'm looking for a used one, like somebody that's had a
Yeah.
kid that grew out, or their wife was shooting one and quit. Like, whatever. He needs something like 50 pounds. Like he could almost get a 55-pound back. And I was hoping because they had like one that went 55 to 70. He's looking at the Matthews. I was just going to spring and get him one. But, or maybe it's 55 to 65. But they cranked it the whole way down. And now he was doing like the left arm straight draw like this. So he wasn't doing like, I don't know if he started out that way or
Sky
not.
draw.
I started like this when I was
Yeah.
a kid,
Oh yeah.
He's not doing that. And I'm okay with that. But it's probably going to cost me a bow because
Yeah.
I got to buy him a lighter bow if he's going to do the proper draw, and then, which that's fine. Heck, I killed my first deer with an old bear, and it was 42 pounds at the time, and they didn't have cams; they were just wheels, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's lobbing stuff at it, and I killed a doe and a buck with that thing. I know what 55 pounds does now. Like that's a completely different machine, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's as fast as the 70 pounders were back then. Because I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
all that white, it's been a while since I was a teenager, his age, doing that. But yeah, I got to find him a bow, and he shot some, but he needs to get used to his bow. He's only got like a month left, and school's starting up.
Yeah.
He's got to be out every night now, shooting. So
Yeah. It's getting to be that time. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my cousin's bow for you. I looked at camp this week and I couldn't find it, and then I texted him, and then he's like, "It's in the garage." I'm like, "Oh shit! No wonder I couldn't
after
find
you
it because
left,
I wasn't looking
you
in
texted
the
him after you
garage."
left.
Do what?
Did you text him after you left, and he said it was in the.
Yeah, yeah. I texted him after I left, and I was like, "Where's that bow at? Do you have it down in Florida?" And he's like, "No, it's in the garage." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So, but I got to go up because we have a feeder out right now, and I have to take it out 10 days before season starts. So September 5th, that has to be gone.
Gotcha.
So I got to go back up and take that away.
Yeah.
So I'll look up when I go back up next week
Yeah.
or 2 weeks from now,
The other
whenever
thing I'm going
September
to do,
5th is.
I think I'll put together I think I'm going to together a video on a guy came out years and years ago, came out and assessed our property. I know you probably know this. I don't know if you remember, but paid a guy to come down from Michigan. He had killed something along the lines of 35, 38 record buck, like book buck, with a bow, all on public land, but two. And he'd like assess your land and all those kinds of things, which is great. But one of the things he taught us was how to make any garment. I don't want to say the brand name, but make any garment like carbon, you know, scent controlled carbon. Any, you know,
Yeah. I think everybody knows what brand you're talking about.
yeah, I know, and I don't want. I don't want to say, I want to lock
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the scent. Yeah. Anyway, uh, but it's been really cool, and Brock and I have had a ton of success with it. Like it's really nice because you don't have to. In that case, you didn't have to spend all this money. You can go get your favorite Realtree jacket, regular jacket, and in 2 hours, that thing will be completely carbon infused, basically, and
Yeah.
they will not smell you. Like it's insane,
Yeah.
and you can redo it and redo it and redo it, and you don't have to spend that big money necessarily. Because I know not every. I look at that stuff now. I'm like, oh my god, like
Oh, I know.
it's so expensive. Yeah,
Yeah. I was looking at camo yesterday, like thinking, like, you know what? They got that. I do like this brand of camo you're talking about. I do like and I don't pay attention to the
right.
scent stuff because I play the wind anyway. And actually, I've been using this stuff from Hunter Safety System. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a foam. Like you take a scent-free shower,
Yeah,
and then it's like a foam stuff you put on your hand, and you like just rub it. It's after your shower, not during your shower. After your
right,
shower, you just foam your hand, and then you just put it everywhere. Just
right,
rub your like lotion.
right.
And I used that stuff last year, and I shit you not, I did not get winded.
Yeah,
Like if I didn't use it, I would get winded. But if I did,
Yeah.
I shit you not, I did not. I don't understand what it was. Like
Yeah.
it's like a scent killer stuff that you put and then you get dressed after that, and then you go hunting.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I never put faith in that I put my jacket on and now I'm scent free. Like
Yeah.
no, it's
I mean,
no.
especially because those things are like hanging at Cabela's, like next to the food.
Yeah,
You can smell burgers
yeah,
and ribs cooking. Like, it's
yeah,
going
yeah.
onto that
And
fabric,
then
not magic.
you take it home, you throw it in the dryer for on high for 20 minutes, and it's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've had a couple things that have worked for us. I've really liked the carbon infusion process, and I'll put a video up on that because I need to do all mine. So I
Yeah,
figured I'd
that would be a cool video to do.
And then the other one that I think we did the last 2 years because I didn't do my carbon infusion in time. I hung them by fire, and
Oh yeah,
that's the old man's thing, right? The old
yeah.
the old boys used to do that. And I'd create a little leaf fire, and I'd hang my clothes over it, and man, they stunk. Man, do they stink like a fire. But again, the deer would smell it, but they didn't care. Like
Hmm.
they just did not care. And every other week, I'd just have a little fire, hang the clothes up near it, make sure the smoke's blowing to it, get done. I was like I like that because it like masks your scent too. Like it's
Yeah,
if you're not perfectly covered, it's like there's such a strong campfire smell. And now I'm curious to know like if that will work on this public land that's so remote because I don't know if they've smelled fires that often.
yeah,
Like around here, like if I'm hunting at my house, I have a fire almost every night. It's blowing through the woods. It's a familiar smell because everyone around here has campfires, right? But
yep.
looking at hunting 2-3 miles back in where these deer might not have smelled that like hardly ever. So I don't know if that's a unique smell to them. And it's like, what the hell's that? But between those two, the one thing that I've had really good luck with, I know people are, they're one way or the other on this is that ozonics. You know, I didn't really buy into it, but I was like, you know what? It's a new gadget. I'll try the new gadget because that's what hunters do best is spend money on gadgets, right? And
That's me. I'm the gadget guy.
oh, dude, anything to make me more successful or make me think I'm going to be more successful.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's all I get. There's a video. There's YouTube. They've proven it right there when it's all like cut up and like they
Yeah,
didn't even use that thing.
yeah. Now, number one, I will say that people should be aware that ozonics will kill you if you put it like if you put it like
Oh,
in,
I got a story to tell after that.
yeah. But that's one thing. And then number two, if you do the ozonics like on your clothing, anything that has a waistband or rubber or anything like that is destroyed. I had a pair of like undergarments that had like like a regular
Oh yeah,
underwear waistband on it,
elastic. Yeah,
and I came out and they were this, dude. They were 60 inches around. There was no more snap to it. It just destroyed it. And I'm looking at these things like three of me could fit in there. Now only two of
yeah,
them, but at the time, three of me could have fit in there. But I will say that, and I may have told you this story before, but I was hanging a stand once, and I was going to hunt it later that evening, and this was up at our camp, and and it was hot. It was one of those like October 10th, 90-degree days, and I'm like, what am I even doing out here? The deer aren't going to be moving, but I'm going to hang this, and I'll hunt it tomorrow or maybe tonight, whatever. So I'm hanging this thing at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am dripping sweat. I mean, I hadn't showered. I was wearing just a regular shirt. I went in with my boots, but I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna. I'll stay on the steps and whatever. I'm not gonna like leave my shirt hanging there, so I should be okay because I'm not gonna be there for a while. Well, I have my ozonics and stuff with me, and I look up the hill and I see these deer coming down. So I take that ozonics, and I'd already had the screw thing in for it where I could like attach it to the tree,
yeah.
and I stuck it up there real quick and I turned it on. Those deer were directly downwind of me, and they didn't smell a thing. They every now and again they kind of nose up, and there were six of them, a little buck and a handful of those, and they they would like nose up every now and again. They bedded there. They bedded like 25 yards from me, and just wide open, and the wind is going right at them, and the hill actually went up a little bit. So I'm like, it's going right at them, and I'm like, there's no way they can't. There's no way they're not getting my scent. It's going directly, and they're spread out, right? They're bedded across like a 20-yard wide section, so
Yeah.
they're definitely smelling me. So I sat there for a while, and then it got to be like 45 minutes. I'm like, well, I need to leave because I don't even have my bow with me. I'm not hunting. I need to get back. I have other stuff I have to do. So instead of like whistling or anything like that, I just turned the ozonics off just to see what would happen. That was one of my tests, right? I'm telling you, within 15 seconds, those things were gone. It was like I set a bomb off, and they were panicking. They're like, "Oh my God, something's here," and they took off in every single direction. I was like, from that day on, for me, I was like, okay, I'll have it. And the thing, like you said, you still got to hunt the wind. You still got to hunt the wind. But
Yeah.
I've had spots where I'm like on a cliff, and the wind's blowing towards the cliff, right? And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, here comes some stupid deer, 10 yards down the cliff, and I keep it on for stuff like that because you never
Yeah.
know. Like, you never know where those idiots are gonna come by. But you had
Yeah.
a story. Ozonics, go.
Yeah. I think I might have told this story on this podcast before, but when those little cigarette lighter ones that came out,
Yeah, yeah,
the ozone.
yeah.
Well, we were at a show. I won't mention the brand because just because.
Yeah.
And but we were talking about, and it was the first year that they came out with the scent killer thing, cigarette lighter ozone deal.
Mm.
So we were talking about it, like how good it is. He's like, yeah, this guy was at the booth, and we were at an outdoor show, and the guy was at the booth telling stories. Like, yeah, I love that thing, man. It's like you could tell it's working too, and like he's like the truck is just smells so good and everything. He's like, but I gotta tell you, the other day, like I was driving down the road and my nose was bleeding. It was like, dude, were you driving down the road with that thing on? He's like, well, yeah, isn't that how you work? It's like, no.
Yeah, that'll give you like that's like just
Like,
saying,
dude,
give me cancer. Like
that's
it's
why that's why somebody
it's
somebody was saying is like, dude, you're just like gave yourself brain cancer,
yeah,
basically.
it's really, really bad for you. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
it's like I don't want to laugh about it because it's not laughing matter, but he's like, yeah, I was just driving
Yeah,
down the road and my nose started bleeding. It's like, so you had it on while driving down the road and was just like inhaling that ozone
yeah.
that was
You
putting
don't
like,
even
I
want
don't
that
know.
like in a blind. Like you got to have it outside, not blowing in.
Yeah, yeah,
Put it on the downwind side
yeah,
because yeah, that's some bad stuff. And I'll tell you the other thing that tells me that I think it really works is, my friend that owns the car repair dealership down or car repair place down here, and they do thousands and thousands of cars. They're the biggest ones in the county. When they get one that has smoke damage, like if there's been a house fire or something, and the interior of the car smells like smoke, that's what they've used forever. You blow ozone into
yeah,
it, and it just
yeah.
eats the smell, and they're like it just goes away. It just kills the smell. But I've also destroyed hunting boots because my rubber hunting boots were like not while I was in the field, obviously, but
Well, yeah.
I'd had a blind set up at home, and I'd throw my clothes in there like on hangers, and set.
Hmm.
My brother bought like a industrial sized ozone creator, so it's
Yeah.
pumping gallons and gallons of it in per minute. And I go out and I put my boots on, and they're like, they just completely fell apart. Like,
Melted.
oh shit, yeah, they get
Yeah, imagine if it's
little.
doing that to rubber boots.
Oh
Imagine what it's doing to your freaking brain.
yeah, yeah, it's
But
crazy.
I've heard the same story of like people putting their like those closets that you can buy, that those scent lock
Yeah,
closets or
yeah.
scent free closets or whatever, and then you hang your harness in there too.
Oh
Then
yeah,
you go
yeah,
to put it on, and then the elastic around the waistband is just like
yeah.
miles long. It's like, well,
I
that
would
thing's
I
screwed
would
now.
bet that those harness companies will say like if you use ozone on our stuff, like there's no warranty. Like they're
Yeah,
gonna
oh yeah, they have
just
to.
yeah. Hey, can you bring up the
But
baseball fight? I mean, we got a couple minutes left here. We got 10 minutes.
I
You
was
got
messing with this stuff a while ago,
is it
um,
working?
or
See if it
yesterday,
fixed it.
and the stupid audio was really weird on it. I'll try it again, but
Yeah, see if it can work.
yeah, the audio was really messed up on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it up. So I'm gonna look to my. You see me on camera here. I'm looking to my other screen. So
I'll set up like
um,
NASA over
what
there.
am I looking at? Who was that again? Tim Anderson.
Anderson, yeah, Anderson getting
Tim
knocked out
Anderson.
by a
Tim
closed
Anderson.
fist slap. We got to cover that.
Are we gonna watch?
Yeah, we can watch
I'll just watch
Jungle.
one real quick to make sure it was the. Can you hear that right there?
I can't hear it there now. Not
Okay.
working, huh? Do you have that computer plugged into that P4?
We can just do it without audio.
Yeah.
It's like we're just
Yeah,
gonna
that's fair.
basically,
Yeah, we're going to talk about it anyway.
yeah. So,
Oh, here we go. Look how fancy we are. Look at what we got. There it is.
all right. So we're gonna just basically analyze this here.
Yeah. Ramirez.
Oh, it's gonna be jumpy. That's cool. This is nice.
What is wrong with your internet, dude? Oh,
I
look.
think it's just the stupid thing.
This was working the other day. He sticks his finger in his face. Umpire's like, all
I
right.
love how Anderson just like he squares up like he's about ready to box.
And he squared up as a lefty, and he's a righty. Like that tells you right there. Like, what are you doing? But if you get a chance, like when they show in slow motion, it might be later when they show it in slow motion. When he throws that punch, yeah, go back a little bit, keep going, like right there. Yeah, that's a good view. Watch Ramirez's punch. Like everybody's like, oh, he really like. This says more about Anderson than it does about Ramirez. Watch his hand. Number one, he doesn't even bend his. Look at this. Look, straight arm inside his hand. It's like how a 4-year-old hit somebody. Like he brought it like way over here and hit him like with this part of his hand. I'm like, what the hell was that? And Anderson just lawn chair buckles.
Yeah, he's just like, there it is.
Look at this.
Just straight arm in it.
This is how we're gonna hit each other now. Like there's no straight down the pipe, nothing. And he slaps him. I mean, he slapped him. Dude got knocked out from being slapped in the face with a I mean, granted, it was a closed hand, but it's a slap. I
It's a
don't care.
close slap.
Oh, yeah, wild. I wish we had more of that, though. I wish we had more of that.
Like hockey fights, it's like in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, the last good fight aside from that one was when what's his name from the Reds just took on the whole Pirates bench. Dude, that was amazing. Did you see that one?
No, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, search it. Search that. Look up.
Hang on, I want to watch this again.
Oh, wait, here it comes. Here's a big straight arm. Like, that is not a punch, dude. I mean, it's the worst punch ever. I mean, it was effective, whatever. But look up Pirate or Reds pitcher, Pirates bench. I don't see it. That's not pitcher. That's pitcher. There you go. Yeah, full brawl right there at the top. Amir
one?
Garrett. That's whose name. That's who it was. Yeah, let's hit that.
Oh, maybe I do remember this.
He just throws his glove down and attacks the entire bench. This is so stupid. He's friggin'. Oh, sorry. I thought it was an ad. It's just your.
But it is, isn't it?
I don't know. It's still spinning.
I don't know why this is being so dumb.
Gonna have to start pulling it up on my side.
It was working. Remember when me and you were messing with this the other day and it was working perfectly fine?
Yeah, it's perfect. Of course it was. Now you can get 10% off your sports cases. How long is this going to go?
It's 5 minutes. Oh,
Yeah,
so getting into it like right here.
Yeah, so just leave it.
Oh, he's jawing Jack in there. Oh, he just runs right over to him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The whole bench. Yeah, it's all jumpy.
The camera's like, oh my god.
I hope it's not jumpy on the real feed. It's jumpy on my side. But yeah, like that dude.
Oh yeah, that was the camera guy. That wasn't.
No. I mean, it's like frame jumping on my side.
Oh,
I know this one, like like the back of my hand. Jump back to when he's standing on the mound because somebody says something, and he just comes running, dude. He's like, "What's up?" And then he just full speed. Bam! The whole bench. That's what I want. This is the baseball I want to pay.
This is baseball
right here.
This is what I want to see.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Look, Puig in there.
Puig's in there?
Yeah, Puig was in there. He was
when was this?
For a hot minute. Oh, man. 19, I want to say. I don't know. 19 or 20. I don't even
remember. I do not remember this like at all.
I mean, Bell's still there. So that tells you something. That was before Bell went to Washington.
Who's that old guy?
Yeah, he's all fired up. I know that guy. See the
Hold me back,
ball
bro.
guy holding.
Is that your boy there?
Yeah, that's my boy right there. You're not getting through him. He's the
You're talking about that guy right there,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's now working for he's a strength and conditioning coach for University of Georgia baseball right there.
We need to have him on.
Good friend. Yeah, he's going to come on. He agreed to come on. But yeah, he's like the I don't want to mess this up, but he's like the Masters. That's what it's called. The Masters defending champion 2 years in a row for weightlifting. Like over a certain age, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it's 50, but he's like the world Masters champion, Masters level champion, and that's him there just
Really?
and he's it's funny because I see him with his big bear paws on somebody, and the guy's trying to get around him. I'm like, dude, you're not getting around that dude. He was a serious individual, but yeah, and for what it's worth, I mean, obviously I'm a Pirates fan, I guess, but
Yes.
I respect Garrett in this. This is amazing, you know.
Yeah, he just like takes off like, I got you, bro.
He's like, I'm taking all of you. Look at this. This is great. If you could guarantee this happens once a month, no one would miss a game. Like if you didn't tell them when it was going to happen, but like at least once a month, there's going to be a fight like this. I guarantee you would sell out games. It's amazingly good. So anyway, yeah. So that's about it, I suppose. We'll talk more.
Yeah, this was kind of a random podcast, but I really like it.
Yeah, we had to hit the hunting stuff though. I mean, it's creeping up on that time. And
Yeah.
one last thing on that, I just wanted to ask: did you? So here in Western Pennsylvania, I've noticed, or I think I've noticed, and it worked out last year for a few buck we were looking at. Our bucks seem to shift like 300 yards when they shed their velvet.
Oh
Like
yeah, ours always do that.
like a quarter mile. It's never like a mile, but they're definitely. But you said yours might already be shifting.
I think they
So
are because I haven't seen the one buck I called Curly. He has like a weird, I don't know how you put it,
that's
how
a
you
great
say it, but
name, Curly. That's a really great name.
good name for the deer.
What a
Good
fun name for
job.
the deer.
Very creative.
My grandmother. Sorry, Twitter
That was
joke.
a ridiculous. That was a ridiculous post.
Yeah,
Uh,
somebody tweeted asking for names on Twitter, and every time, and it was a big name organization, and every time someone would give a name, and it was like Browy McBrowtines, and they're like, "Oh, how fun!" I was like, "What are you doing?
that's a really good name.
How did an 80-year-old
Uh,
grandmother get in charge of this Twitter account right now?" But anyway, back to Curly.
so there was a. Let's see if I can find it here. But I have a deer named Curly that I was kind of paying attention to, and I have not seen him um, in a while. But he was coming around. There he is, right there. I'll share my screen here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look tonight and see if that tall boy, that big boy that I
So that
shared
one.
on the thicket, is still loading on my side. Oh yeah,
He's got like a little weird.
yeah.
Let's see if he comes towards.
He's not real big though.
Anyways, you get the idea. He's
Yeah,
got a weird like curly tine,
decent was in.
and so he's got like his main beam curls in instead of like goes out and then
Oh
back in.
yeah,
He just
yeah,
like
yeah. I remember
immediate,
seeing him. Yeah, yeah,
immediately curls in. So I got him, and I haven't seen him in I don't even know how long,
yeah.
but I think he's already gone. That other one, the 8 point I was telling you about, he's already gone. This is the buck the other day that I was telling you about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's not bad.
But he's that doe, that skinny doe that I had,
Oh yeah, yeah.
she's gone.
Oh yeah,
She's gone.
dead. She's dead.
I don't.
She was
But see, I
animal.
was down there the other day and I didn't smell anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
She
haven't
was
seen
still
her in a
running
while.
out.
But yeah, all my deer are gone. There she is, right there. That skinny little.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm hoping. That one I've been posting on the thicket, that high boy. It's like I hate sharing pictures like that because I feel like it jinxes it. I'm superstitious that way.
Oh yeah.
But that buck, he's big. I mean, you saw him. He's big. He's got all
Yeah,
kinds
he's a
of
very
length.
nice deer.
He's a big buck. That idiot comes out every night on one of the most traveled back roads in this entire
Mm.
county and just stands there in a soybean. I'm like, I mean, the good news is that if he moves 300 yards and he moves the right 300 yards, he's now behind me, right?
Oh
And I can
yeah.
control this and keep it quiet. We don't have much acreage. We've got very little actually, but I don't need much if it's quiet. And so if I
Yeah.
can keep him quiet there, but yeah, I mean, everybody in the county knows he's there and he's worth knowing about. People stop their trucks, they're taking pictures, and I'm like, as long as I don't hear the crack of a gun in the middle of the night. But what he does is he comes out at like 6:30, and then like right before dark, he disappears. He goes back down over the hill, and I'm like, why aren't you doing this in the other direction, dude? Why aren't you coming up in the dark? He comes out in the middle of the day and is like standing there. Everybody's stopping and looking at him, and then right before dark, he feeds right off down over the hill and into the corn and stuff down over there. But
Yeah.
yeah, hoping he makes a little bit of a shift because if he does it
Yeah.
and it's the right direction, he could go anywhere. But if it's the right direction, maybe we'll
Yeah.
have a crack
So
at him.
normally what happens on our property is that we don't have any deer like during the summer. We won't have any bucks. Well, it'll just be all does, and then they'll start to trickle in August, and then more in September and stuff. But this year we've had 4 or 5 regular bucks, but like I said, they're all gone right now. And that curly brow time buck, that was the first time I've ever seen him this whole summer. So
See, we
I
had the
think,
opposite problem because I would have up at our camp back then. It was we won the Velvet Championship every year. Like we had
yeah,
just giants everywhere, and then as soon as they'd shed, they're gone. I mean, we'd be
yep,
lucky to have them passing through on the other. So we'll see. And then we got that one I showed you. I know we want to wrap this up, but we had that one I showed you. He's 13 points, but he's also only about 13 inches wide.
like that,
I mean, he's probably 15.
which is cool. I mean, that's
I mean, he's
fine.
like that. He's to his
Yeah,
ears, but 13 points. I mean, he's got split G2s. Actually, his G2s on each side have 3 points. That's 6 of them right there. And he's just got
yeah,
junk everywhere. And I'm like, dear God, make it through. But he's young. And I remember him from last year. I remember having a buck that was like very small rack, which had points all over him. And it has to be him. He's in the same exact
yeah,
spot. And I just want him to make it one more year because he's going to explode. But also, I've got 5 acres. If that thing walks through and a kid's in that stand, if Brock's in that stand, zip him, buddy. Put it through him.
yeah.
He's a good buck for you. And you know
Unless
Chloe's
he's
gonna take him. So,
Yeah, unless he's too big, then you don't want the kid to kill him.
well, yeah, there's always that. You don't want kids being too successful. It'll ruin them and spoil them, and then no hate hunting down the road.
All right, with that, we're ending it there.
All right.
All right, man. Well, like you said, like we said, Howie's got a few video ideas and videos he's going to come out with on the Thicket
Yeah.
YouTube channel here shortly.
Yeah.
We got podcasts coming live on the Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's do
I got
some
a few
spaces on
videos.
there, too. We got to do some spaces on
What?
Twitter too. Let's do some
Yeah,
live
we need to look
spaces.
into that. We should have done that today.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We'll do them during football games or something, maybe. That'd be fun.
yeah, we got football coming up. We got
Yeah.
Little League World Series right now. 7-1, Nevada's going to win. It looks like. Uh, Yeah, we got all kinds of great
Missouri,
time of year right now.
Missouri
We're gonna be
football
kicking this
actually,
off.
Missouri football
We're gonna
actually
be.
looking like a juggernaut in the making out there. Just saying.
I don't want to say it because every time I do say it, then they fall on their face.
They're getting some big signings,
But
though.
we've got some big recruits the
Yeah,
last couple days,
looks
so
good.
that's exciting. But I mean, that'll be
Yeah,
next year. I mean, we don't have
yeah.
a quarterback right now, so I don't know how this year's gonna go.
Right,
But
right.
and our head coach is still our offensive coordinator, so that's not working out too well either.
It's the Pirates' approach. The future looks bright.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But football season, college football is next week. I'm
yeah,
excited.
awesome.
So we got football coming up. We got baseball winding down. We got hunting coming up. Got all kinds of stuff. I love this time of year.
I'm just going to point out that a Cardinals fan just said baseball winding down as we're heading to September. That tells you all you need to know about the Cardinal season.
Well, see you later.
Later.
Peace.
The Corn Thicket Podcast with Kyle and Howie, presented by Realtree.